Okay, you guys, up next here we have all of these fun pieces. I love to go to estate sales or antique shops. I'm in a new area, so I'm going to have to find new things. But oftentimes once I've established a good relationship, I can work with places and I ask always to dig through their scrap piles. Antique stores often buy estates, and so they get a lot of things in that maybe necessarily they wouldn't resell. And that's what all of this is. These are pieces that were in scrap bins because they were missing stones, or the solder joint was broken, or they were just kind of garbage. This one was one of my favorites. This is a Native American headdress, and it was a pendant. It was all kind of jacked up. So this is either a scarf slide or it goes on a hat band. And I just love these. This is one of my favorite things to do because you take something, I mean, who knows where this piece has been, who loved it, what kind of a treasure it was for somebody. I often think about what that is when I'm working on pieces. This one was a Celtic cross pendant. It was double-sided. It is double-sided. It had patterns on both sides, but I thought, oh my gosh, if I add a stone to this, it's absolutely going to be gorgeous. And so I found the perfect stone. I go through my drawers of stones to really find things that match what I'm doing, that look well. And sometimes this process, I'll spend hours with my stones. This was a beautiful little, I'm guessing it was Bali silver. Just by the work on it. The solder joint was broke, it was smashed, the stone was missing. I mean, for obvious reasons, it was just going to be trashed. And I love taking those and turning them into something that now can become somebody's treasure again. And so, again, finding the perfect stone. This was a beautiful little piece of turquoise that I wanted to add to the center of this because it had such a Western flair. I thought how fun it would be either on a cowboy hat or Western hat or as a scarf slide because it was really pretty. It's a sterling silver with brass embellishments. And so, yeah, love, love, love. Again, using all the different tools to get things just right. It's such a fun process for me. I love to find that creative thing that is just so fun, and this is one of those for me. I never thought, I don't like to resize jewelry, or it's hard for me. I don't like to unset stones and reset stones because there's always a chance that they'll break, but to take something that's obviously in ill repair and bring it back to life, there is something so fun about that. And here I'm burnishing this. This was a little tool that I got at a garage sale. The end of it's agate. I have no idea if this is what it was for. I've heard of agate burnishers, but I don't know if that's what it was. This is me with an X-Acto knife. It's why I always have band-aids on my hands, because I use things I shouldn't. These were tiny little bezels that all of the turquoise was missing out of this ring except for one piece, and this ring was completely smashed in the back. The solder joint was broken, and so I got the perfect little Sleeping Beauty turquoise to put in these. This is a bezel punch. They're fun to use. There was a learning curve for me to get them right. I think it's practice makes perfect. I'm pretty impatient, and so this was a lesson in frustration for me to start. I ruined a lot of things, but finally kind of getting it, and that's what I'm doing here on these. They were set pretty tight together, so it was hard to really get in there. That's why I used the X-Acto knife at the beginning. And again, it's about finding little things that work for you. It doesn't always have to be a tool for exactly what you're doing, but you can find things that work. Just be creative. It's like my little trusty toothbrush that I took apart. This one I went ahead and did turquoise as well. Again, I'm doing a country music festival show, and so I went turquoise heavy on a lot of pieces that I was creating for this. This one was interesting because the band was very round, and so the back of a stone is flat, and so I had to be creative in how I set this stone in there to make sure that it sat perfect. And if you're interested in knowing how I did that, message me, because it was a funny one. But it worked. It worked really well, actually. It turned out really cute. It's a small ring, but wow, it's dainty and cute, and it has lots of little detail. I love Bali silver. Every one of these pieces, you guys, just turned out so fun. I love being able to do this. Now I've got to go find me some places here in Idaho Falls area. So if you're from around here, or you know of anywhere, have a good connection, hook me up, because I love this. I also love estate sales too, so I'm going to have to find, this one was not my favorite piece when I started. It was kind of one of my least favorite, but it actually turned out one of my favorites when I got done. This little varicite that I set in here was perfectly round, perfectly cut. My daughter's a rock star. She cuts things so well. And this stone looked perfect in this. This is a men's Celtic cross pendant. And I just wanted something to dress it up a little bit more than what it was. Turned out so good. And here I'm burnishing. This is a burnisher that I got from Kent's Tools, I believe. All these plugs, these people should love me for this. Kent's Tools had some good stuff, especially as I was beginning. It was affordable. It was things that I could get me started that I knew I needed. Again, I didn't go fancy. And then there's this. I did not get this done, sadly. I'm really sad. But this is an old antique silver dove. I think that this is a dove. Definitely a bird. Brooch. And the pin back on it is broken. And it was filthy when I started. And I want to set a stone in its eye. It's a hollow form, so it was pressed, I'm pretty sure. But once I got it cleaned up, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, so unique. I just think that this is such a cool piece because, again, it was just getting sent to scrap, but the stories it could tell. I mean, somebody wore this beautifully. It's a beautiful pin, and so I'm really excited to get this one done. Sadly, I didn't for this show. Emma will probably talk me out of it. She does that often when I find really cool things like that, or I fall in love with it and I'm like, yeah, I think I better have that. This bird turned out really pretty. Look at it. It is perfect. See, it's going to be great with a stone set in its eye. And here we are. And look at these. Look at that little headdress with the feathers and all the details. I mean, everything about these turned out so fun. And so it's just a reminder. Sometimes things seem like junk, or they seem like maybe they're not worth anything. I don't know. Sometimes do you feel like that? We feel down on ourselves or crappy, but everything has value. Everything can be brought back to life, even us. We can find our way back from anywhere. This is like Audra TED Talk now. But seriously, look at these. They turned out so fun. What a fun thing to be able to do. I'm really excited to be able to start doing some YouTube videos and actually teaching some classes on stuff like this. I'm going to be recording this winter some classes, online classes for stuff, and vintage finds would be one of those ones I think would be really great, because sometimes you can take something, you don't pay that much for stuff like this. I didn't have that much of an investment in these, and yet they turned out so great, and now they get to be somebody's treasure, which, you guys, thank you for being here. This is so fun for me.